Hi everyone, I'm Ellie GREYMOND. We're going to be answering questions about OCD recovery today. We're doing a Q&A. So the questions that I'm answering, if you're new to this channel, are below the questions that people left below any of my videos. So if you would like me to answer a question about your situation, I can do so on next show. Just leave it below this video or any of my other videos. I will see them and then I will answer. So the first question is, hi Ali, how do you deal with the feelings that I want to act on the thoughts and then feeling like I have, and then going back and trying to think, did I do that? If it feels like I did, I felt like I wanted to, please help. So, okay, so that's all normal OCD thoughts and fears. Basically, the whole thing is your theme. This is what's happening over and over again. You have to choose to refuse. So you're not answering. The problem here is not that you're getting a thought. The problem is the reaction. When you're dealing with ERP, exposure is the thought itself when it comes to pure O, right? With the physical stuff is a little bit different, right? But with the like cleaning and I mean like that kind of stuff. But in terms of the PRO, which is what you're experiencing, it's did I not? Let me try to figure it out. But I felt like I wanted to, so I don't know if I did. And and then you go in this loop over and over again. And it's just saying, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. This is still my theme. I'm not paying attention. And you're just pushing through and moving on. So, and then you will see that the more you push through, the less energy you give to that part of the brain that's connecting fear to your specific obsession, like to the specific situation. The less you use it, the weaker it will become, and then the stronger you will feel, the less anxiety you will get, and it's just progressing. So, next question is, Watch my video on OCD recovery, because there's more information there as well about the recovery process. Next question is, do you think OCD is an addiction? Would the 12 steps of AA help? You know what? I don't know about the 12 steps, like what it entails, so I can't answer that question. But in terms of it being an addiction, it's not an addiction per se, but the way I find that generally people who have gone through addiction recovery, or who have overcome something, that's like a bad habit, like something very serious, or have lost even things like losing a lot of weight, right? All of that helps in terms of fighting OCD. Those people recover really fast because they have gone through something similar. Because really dealing with refusing reassurance, refusing checking, refusing analyzing, it's kind of the same way as refusing whatever you're addicted to. So the process is kind of similar. So I would say yes, but I don't know the details about the 12-step program. Next question is, thank you, Ali. Would you have... by the way, if I read it a little bit funny, it's just because I'm reading them for the first time. Thank you, Ali. What you have been teaching us pushed me to tell my mind, send me thoughts, I don't care. And that's what you want to say, is you want to say, send me the thoughts, I don't care, I'm not paying attention to it. Although they still make me anxious, I refuse dealing with them with the maximum effort, great. And these thoughts started to bother and visit me less when compared to 3 weeks ago. Again, guys, you see, recovery is possible. It gets better and better and better and then goes away completely. As soon as the thought popped into my mind, I'm trying to change the gear. Great. However, I have to confess, it is not easy for my mind not to try to look for an answer anymore after 24 years of battle with OCD. As I understand, sufferers like me should not try to fill in the blanks. We have to leave the blanks empty and go on. And it's the choice. I'm choosing to leave the blanks empty. I'm choosing to go on. Any thought can pop up. Obsessive people like me should not give reaction. Yes, exactly. And do not try to do anything to protect ourselves from these thoughts. Yes, exactly what you're saying. And just, if you feel like in some days, you feel a little bit braver, like you can push a little bit more, then, again, like what you're saying, send me thoughts, I don't care. And then put yourself in a triggering situation, such as watching a show that will have some element that triggers you, or say if you're afraid of germs, going to a place that's more like, scary, like within normal, obviously, parameters, but something that just pushes you a little bit further into normalcy, into regular life. So, and then you will feel a little bit of a high anxiety. So when you do this, you kind of have to prepare yourself that you will get a little bit of more high anxiety. When you do, refuse. Refuse energy, refuse attention, refuse to activate that brain center, refuse. Next question is, ma'am, what are the signs to know that I'm doing recovery properly? How am I supposed to know if I'm doing recovery properly and going on the right track? Any indications? Okay, first of all, as the person goes through recovery, a big, kind of a big, not a big fear, but something you really should be conscious of is that OCD attaches to what you care about the most. If you start to care about recovery the most, guess what can happen? OCD can attach to it. So you have to be careful that you're not obsessively thinking, are you recovering properly or not? If you're feeling generally better, not every single day you're going to feel better. But generally this week was better than last week, or this month is better than last month, and if you can say that, you're on the right track to recovery. I would say month is a little bit too far. I would say weekly you should feel better, because if you're not feeling better week to week, then you need to be pushing harder. But day to day, it's hard day to day, because if something comes up or some real life stress sidetracks you in your recovery, you might feel worse today, right? So right now holidays and everybody's stressed out, so that can make you feel worse as well. So this kind of stuff can happen, but just don't get obsessive about it. It's, if you're generally feeling better, then you're generally are on the right track. If you're feeling worse, if you're spending days analyzing, then obviously you're not doing good. This is not good for recovery, and you need to stop immediately. And it's making a choice. It's not an easy choice. It's a choice that's going to continue the anxiety. So obviously, you want to relieve anxiety, so that's why reassurance, right? But it's keeping the thought there, not doing anything about it, just letting it be, and then you will see that you start to feel better, just doing it like that. And the anxiety will be there, but again, what do I say in every show? The anxiety is over here, you're over here, you're not looking there, doesn't matter, you're here, and just pushing through that way. So next question is, I have a question. After I got over my specific type of OCD and almost got recovered, my brain started obsessing on recalling various past memories. A lot of the times this kind of thing happens. Okay, I'll finish reading. I just jump from memory to memory, including very old childhood memories. I feel like I can't stop my brain from recalling all old useless memories. Is that normal during recovery, or is it some new type of OCD? Yes, it is normal for recovery. What is actually happening over here is that you are you got over a specific type of OCD, your specific type of OCD, but because you're pushing so good, your mind is not really content with not having you in a state of anxiety. It thinks there might be fear or danger in some other way. Okay, there's no danger here, and that's why OCD tends to switch from one theme to another. So it looks like it's a start of a new obsession, or it's trying to find a new theme to attach to. So you have to be very, very conscious of that this is still OCD. I'm still obsessively thinking about something that I shouldn't be normally thinking about. I'm not going to give it energy. And really, the closer you get to full recovery, the more important, and this goes for everybody, right? The closer the person gets to full recovery, the more important relaxation becomes. That you have to allow your mind to relax as much as you possibly can, because think about it. The OCD is extremely stressful. To be living with OCD is extremely stressful. Then you start recovery, and you're focused on recovery, and you're pushing your brain further to refuse reaction. All of that is extra energy, and you're just just using your brain so much more than a normal person would, and it's getting tired, to put it in simple terms, right? So you need to give your brain a chance to relax. So however you relax, you have to give your mind rest. Sleeping, relaxation, fresh air, calm walks, calmness, reading, not stressful reading something, but just a calm book or something like that. Whatever works for you is fine, but you need to give your mind that space. And I think that really the sleep and the meditation, if you can do both of those every day, more sleep every day, more at least some meditation, 15 minutes. Pick a video on YouTube, just a simple, a guided meditation, where they tell you breathe in, breathe out, those kinds of things. So you're controlling your breath. It really helps speed up your recovery, and just pushing through. It seems like you're doing everything right, because obviously it's moving from theme to theme. And this is another way of how you can tell if you're doing good in recovery, is if you are stuck on one theme and it's not going, and it's not changing themes, you're stuck on this one thought, that's not good, because that means you're giving it a lot of energy. If your brain is shifting from one to another all day long, then that means that your mind can't attach to anything. You're not letting it attach to anything, which is great. Next question is, I think trying to refocus and reassurance, like saying, that's my OCD, don't worry, is a way to engage it, and it's a compulsion. It can become a compulsion as well, so you kind of have to watch and make sure that you're not doing anything as a ritual. I would prefer to agree with the thought and accept it. With what will, with that, it will decrease the anxiety and fade away with me. It has worked every time for me. Yeah, when you do it, it actually really works, So it's accepting it. And again, when we're talking about accepting the thought, we're accepting the thought as being there. That's all we're doing. We're not accepting the content of the thought. When people say you have to accept your OCD thoughts, you don't accept them as being good or accept them as being right or accepting the content, but you're accepting the actual physical presence of the thought in your mind. It's there, it exists. You accept that. For now, it exists. But you're not looking at a content of the thought seriously. Like, it exists, but it really doesn't matter. That's kind of the outlook. Dear Ellie, GREYMOND, please tell about refocusing attention more. I usually get nothing to do or focus my attention away, because I basically everything is obsessive. Can anyone elaborate? Thank you. Okay, so here you want to the refocusing, right? So you're saying to your mind, this is my OCD thought. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm going to choose to do whatever it is you need to do in that specific day. But you're doing it from a position of power. So you're saying, I'm making the choice. I don't really care about OCD. I'm choosing to move on to something else. And then you're pushing through that way. So it's just making a choice and moving forward. So, and then, and kind of understanding that when you do make that choice, you are going to be feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And that's okay. If you do, it will go away. So next question is, thank you, Ellie, for all the work that you do. So I started recovery in July. I won't lie, I'm still working on recovery, and I have had a relapse many times since I'm doing it with not much support. I still have a long way to go, but I think about where I was a few months ago till now that I'm really thankful to you. I'm happy it's working for you. I'm happy you're doing good in it. And you will recover. It's a process, and relapses happen from time to time as you are recovering it. Nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? And I've never seen a recovery go fully smooth. The person never has, a step back where they react, to a thought and all of this. The reactions from time to time will happen. It's fine. It's just, okay, I reacted, now I'm refusing, and you're pushing through. So continuing the question, so the person says, all I need is to fully push through and I know I will recover. Can you give me more tips on how to fully push through? You just have to do it. There's not much in terms of, it's either you're going to push through or not, I'm not sure because you haven't given me a lot of the background to actually give specific advice, but if you're having a hard day, fine, or if you're having a hard few hours, don't allow it to be a full day. Don't allow it to be 2 days, So when you realize that you are actually going down an OCD spiral, as soon as you realize that, pull back and say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore, and try to have as little of those setbacks as possible. So if you're going somewhere that will trigger you, anticipate that the trigger is going to happen. When it does, you're not going to react. So you're really making sure that you're not giving it a reaction. So next question is, hi Ali, recovery is doing well, good. Like I said before, less thoughts, and when the thoughts do occur, anxiety is very small and not that common with the thought. I do notice in stressful situations like arguing with a spouse, thoughts do arise afterwards. How would you deal with this situation? Thanks a million. Well, with this, I mean, everybody argues, things like that do happen. Real life situations do happen, and they do stress the person out. They do they tend, not for everybody, but for a lot of people, they tend to make OCD worse. So it's just, if you're having an argument or if you're having any kind of stress in your life, anticipate that it is going to make OCD worse. So when the anxiety comes, or a thought that provokes anxiety comes in, then you're refusing. So you're not allowing that thought to grow. It's not catching you when you're kind of not prepared for it. When you're having an argument, kind of prepare that there's going to be an OCD aftershock because of the real life situation. Next question is, how do you do ERP with Puro? And I think I'm going to leave this question, and I'm going to do a separate video on it, just because I feel like there's a lot more to explain than I actually have time for. In short, though, I'll say that, ERP is ERP for Puro. It's generally the same process as for like regular OCD, not regular OCD, but OCD with physical compulsions. But the exposure, the E part, right, the exposure part is the thought itself. So you get the thought, that's the exposure, you prevent the response of fear. Next question is, sorry, I'm just skipping a few of these here, as they're not really questions. Quick but important question, Ali. I recently had a pretty big OCD relapse after getting some good results from work, the work I was doing. Now I'm sort of desensitized to the newness of work that I had before. It's not having the same big impact I had it last time. I started doing the work you suggest. Have you ever... Sorry, I'm not understanding what you're asking here. I recently had a pretty big OCD relapse after getting some good results from work I was doing. Good. I mean, it's good that you're getting good results, but obviously getting a relapse is not good. Now I'm sort of desensitized to the newness of the work that you had. I'm assuming that you had before. It's not having the same big impact it had the last time I started doing the work that you suggest. Okay. So what you're okay, so I got confused. I thought you were talking about real life work. Okay, so you're saying that you were doing good and then you had a relapse. Okay, so and now you're kind of feeling desensitized. Have you ever heard of this? And if so, what suggestions do you have to go back in the groove of recovery? It's, don't worry so much about how you feel. OCD controls how you feel, so it's no use of trying to figure it out. You just have to get back to pushing through. You were, then you had a setback, now you have to get back on track. And that whenever thought comes in, it's obsessive, it follows your theme, disregarding, pushing through, and just moving through like that until you start to feel better again, and it's from time to time, these relapses do happen. It's okay if they do. Oh, and okay, one more question. Anxiety is reacting. How do you not have anxiety? And actually, just to quote the person right under replied before I got to this question, the person said, you have to accept the anxiety as just anxiety. Just stop paying attention to it. And that's exactly right. It's yes, the anxiety is there. Yes, it's difficult, but you have to just see it for what it is. All of the feelings, all of the stuff that's attached to it. Yes, it's there, but it doesn't matter. This is just OCD trying to get you to react to some topic. You have to push through and disregard. So I think that this is the end of the video for today's Q&A. I believe I have some more questions. Okay, one more, because I think that's the last one. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. Hi, Ali, my question, you put... Okay, no, never mind. I thought it was a question, but it was from the previous video. Okay, so that's the end of today's video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. If you would like to sign up for the recovery program, you can do so on youhaveocd.com. If you would like me to answer a question on the next Q&A, you can leave it below any of the videos. I will get it. I will answer in the next show. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.